Marvel and DC have
Whoa, whoa,
always
whoa, 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 whoa. Can I do my intro? Hold on. Hi. Every Marvel and DC copycats explained in details. I want to get into this video because like I am a DC fan at heart. But over the years, let's just say Marvel live action is kind of getting. I'm okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Marvel's live action is way better than DC live action. Point blank simple. Point blank simple. It's funny. Not funny. It's not funny at all. But I'm just like I don't know like how to explain. Like I'm heartbroken because like I'm a DC fan at heart, bro. I know everything about DC. Not everything, but like a good core fan base will know about DC. And then I had to get into Marvel because DC live action is kind of buns, you feel me? But I used to love DC, like animated films, animated shows, animated movies, games, etc., etc. You know, I just love DC. I in my opinion, I still to this day, I still think that DC's characters is far way better than Marvel's. But that being said, the live action for Marvel really surpassed DC. So, and like nowadays, people know DC. People know Marvel more than DC. I'm not saying people don't know DC, but like Marvel was kind of ahead of DC. Like DC was here, Marvel was here, but then now I just feel like Marvel just because of their live action film is so good. And then they got the TV show at that, the live action TV show at that. Some of them flopped, some of them didn't. It depends who you are and what's your preference. But like at the end of the day, I feel like Marvel's still the lead. Sadly, because I am a DC fan and I love DC. But here's today's video that's interesting me because I'll probably do more videos about this. But it says every Marvel and DC copycats explain in details. By heart, I know there's Deadpool, Deathstroke, Copycat, obviously. So, yeah, I want to get into this because I want to learn about Marvel. Because I know a lot about DC, but I do want to know about Marvel a lot. Because I don't want to watch the movie and be like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's this? I want to know knowledge. I want to know bull, for me. Because I'm a DC fan. But let me get into this. Every Marvel, DC copycat explained in details. Who's it by? I just clicked the video. Stick Vengers. Okay. Let's get into this.
Marvel and DC have always been competing, but they've also been copying each other.
Yep.
When you both grow up as the titans of the comics industry, that tends to happen. From speedsters to archers to magicians, there are more than a few oddly similar characters in both. Thanos and Darkseid.
Okay, I know that one. Yeah.
Darkseid shows up in DC Comics in 1970 as the ruler of Apocalypse. He's basically a space god dictator whose entire long-term goal is to take control of the universe by finding the anti-life equation, which would let him remove free will from every living being.
I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust looking for anti-life.
At a kill count of 100,000 worlds, maybe the real anti-life equation.
Bro, DC live action has so much potential. Like I thought I was gonna enter the Marvel phase before the Marvel phase. You feel me? Even though, you know, Marvel Avengers came out before this, I think. Right? This league came out in 2017, 16, 17. But I honestly, I felt like DC was coming back. But then it just flopped.
Was Darkseid all along. Fast forward.
And I honestly, probably, at best, I think they just did this too fast. Because they didn't even do this, the origin stories for Cyborg or the Flash.
We're to 1973. And we get Thanos in the Invincible Iron Man
I feel like
number 55.
They did it so
Another
backwards.
alien warlord who spends most of his time looking for a way to impose his own idea of order on the universe. In this case, by collecting the Infinity Stones and wiping out half of all life to create what he believes is balance. Most people would just call it genocide, but there's a reason he's called the Mad Titan. So you've got two massive purple-toned cosmic villains, both operating on a universal scale, both trying to reshape reality according to their personal philosophy, and both sitting at the top of their respective universes as the big endgame threat that requires basically everyone to show up and deal with. Coincidence? I think not. In Darkseid's case, it takes the entire Justice League to put him down. It's pretty much the same for Thanos. Every superhero, enhanced individual, and alien available has to band together to take him down.
Alien available.
Avengers!
They had everybody, bro.
Assemble.
In the comics, Thanos just wants to appease the Mistress of Death. But in the MCU, he wants to solve overpopulation, whereas
Interesting. Let me go back. Hold on. Let me see. In the comics, it's crazy. 'Cause I did know about this.
the Mistress of Death. But in
You will still revive the Mistress of Death. Let me see.
the comics, Thanos just wants to appease the Mistress of Death.
Appease the Mistress
But
of
in the
Death. Okay.
MCU, he wants to solve overpopulation, whereas Darkseid just doesn't believe in free will. Either way, they're both two sides of the same coin. Dr. Fate and Dr. Strange. Dr. Fate shows up in DC Comics all the way back in 1940. The version most people know is Kent Nelson, who becomes the host for the
Kent.
Spirit of Nabu after discovering the Helmet of Fate. From that point on, he's less of a solo superhero and more Earth's best magical defender. His entire job is basically to deal with threats that regular heroes can't punch away. Demons, curses, reality tears, extra-dimensional entities, that kind of thing. In terms of powers, though, this guy's in a league of his own.
Bro, when I seen this in theaters, did I see it in theaters? I think so, right? I don't know where I saw this. I forgot. I did watch it, of course. But when I seen this, bro, I was like, whoa.
Then, in 1963, Marvel introduced Dr. Stephen Strange in Strange Tales, number 115. A surgeon turned sorcerer who ends up becoming Earth's main line of defense against mystical threats after training under the Ancient One. Same general role. If something weird, magical, or from another dimension shows up and starts breaking the laws of physics, he's the one who gets called in to handle it. So now you've got two caped sorcerers who are basically their universe's go-to solution for anything mystical. Both of them are dealing with all the stuff the rest of the superhero community isn't equipped for. They're both constantly casting spells, using ancient magical artifacts, and drawing power from eldritch, unknown forces. They even have some similar moves. For example, Dr. Fate's duplication
Oh, yeah. That's fire.
is a lot like Dr. Strange's.
I'm not gonna lie, Doctor Strange's is fire. Especially
Their
when there's the
day-to-day
arm things.
doesn't look like typical superhero work either. No city patrols or the occasional friendly neighborhood civilian rescue. Most of what they're doing involves protecting reality from forces that could totally destroy it. They're both the designated magic specialists for their respective universes. There is a key difference, though. Dr. Fate is a host for Nabu, but Stephen Strange's talent and skill are all his.
It was all his.
That's not to say Dr. Fate isn't incredibly capable. It's just that Stephen doesn't have anything but his cape and some magic tools backing him up. Hawkeye and Green Arrow.
Ooh.
Both of these guys are archers, but one ends up living in a secluded hut, and the other comes home to a mansion. But they're similar in the ways that matter. They're secret identities. Both of them are archers with deadly precision, and both of them rely on high-tech machinery to spice up their arsenal. Green Arrow first appeared in DC Comics in 1941 as Oliver Queen, a billionaire who ends up becoming a vigilante after a traumatic survival experience, which forces him to learn archery and hand-to-hand combat. Then, we see the character brought to life in CW's Green Arrow,
Fire.
but it's a lot different
Fire
from how he
show.
is in the comics.
True.
The general gist is the same, though.
I've been stranded here for 5 years. I've dreamt of my rescue.
Because in the
from
show,
cold
the
black
TV show, they
places.
made him more like
He doesn't have any powers,
Batman, I guess.
just a lot of training, a custom bow, and a whole arsenal of trick arrows
But it
ranging
worked.
from
In
grappling
my
lines
opinion, it
to
worked.
explosive tips. Then, in 1962, we got Clint Barton, another expert marksman who also doesn't have any superpowers, relies entirely on precision archery, and uses specialized arrows for different combat situations. Explosives, cables, EMP shots, smoke,
I wonder
pretty
if it's gonna
much
show the
anything that'll
Ronin.
take him from a human with a bow to someone who can deal with super mech suits, aliens, and Asgardian gods. Speaking of measuring up to bigger beings, they both constantly find themselves surrounded by those types. Green Arrow and Hawkeye punch way above their weight. Green Arrow's literally on a team with Superman, for example. That guy can lift planets. Meanwhile, Clint Barton shares a spot on the Avengers with beings like Thor and the Hulk. But don't let that fool you. They're both dangerously capable. Their precision is unmatched. If someone needs to take out a flying target from half a kilometer away, disable a vehicle without blowing it up, or hit a moving weak point mid-combat, these two are the first option. They have nothing going for them except pure skill and a 1 in trillions shot accuracy. There are key differences, though, both in the comics and in their live adaptations.
True.
Besides the obvious gaps in their bank statements, Green Arrow's always
Why
been a
the word
deeply
like that?
political character in the comics, tied to themes like wealth inequality and the systems that create the crime he fights against. Even in CW's Green Arrow, he becomes the mayor of Sterling City. Meanwhile, Hawkeye's pretty much loses it all in the snap. He decides to go on a grief-fueled run as the Ronin instead of taking his trauma and improving a city with it. Not that I blame him. That wouldn't be my first priority either. Their similarities only go as far as their skill sets, because beneath the masks, these are two very different men. Flash and Quicksilver.
Nah, man.
These two have
I
one
see.
similarity,
I'm not
super
fond. I'm not
speed,
fond of
and that's
Quicksilver.
honestly about it. But even that
Not really,
resemblance
I just
only
know he's a
goes so
twin.
far. When people look at the two of them, it's easy to think they're obviously the same. They run super fast and can even make wind tunnels if they wave their arms around really fast.
Listen, don't
But the
show
way
don't
their
show the
powers
live
work is
action
really,
Flash.
really
You gotta show
different.
Barry Allen
And the
from
capabilities
the
of
TV
the
show.
Flash go far beyond any character with super speed, not just Quicksilver. Pietro Maximoff gets his fast legs because of, well, depending on the film, a mutation or an Infinity Stone. But Barry Allen, or Wally West, or Jay Garrick, honestly, same deal. They get their powers from something called the Speed Force. And this thing is a lot more than just super speed. It lets them do things that, even for comic standards, should be impossible. And for anyone but the Flash, they are. In one comic, he runs to the end of time. In another, he perceives things at, like, I don't even know. Just look at this. The Flash
Speed
can
of light.
literally run fast enough to travel back in time. There's a reason he's often one of the most dangerous characters in the MCU, because at his absolute peak, even A-listers like Superman struggle to keep up. Meanwhile, Pietro Maximoff can go faster than anyone else around him, but that's pretty much it. And ultimately, he wasn't fast enough to save himself.
You didn't see that coming.
Damn.
Aquaman and Namor. These two are probably the most similar, both in terms of their power and their role, and even their kingdom. Namor, the mutant son of an Atlantean and a human, is the ruler of Atlantis. He's also known as Submariner in the comics. Known as the Avenging Sun, he's got super strength, enhanced durability, can move through water at insane speeds, and can communicate with sea life. Plus, there's the massive armies he commands. Most of his stories revolve around protecting Atlantis and dealing with surface world interference. On DC's end, it's pretty much the same deal. Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, is the son of lighthouse keeper Tom Curry, and Atlanta, the queen of Atlantis. He's got essentially the same powers as Namor, although I think his are a lot more extreme. Plus, there's that trident of his. So now you've got two hybrid human Atlantean rulers of underwater kingdoms, both acting as monarchs, both capable of commanding sea creatures, and both strong enough to go toe-to-toe with heavy hitters on land, despite being ocean-based characters. Out of everyone on the list, these two are probably the most similar. They find themselves in the same political struggles and the same back and forth between balancing their place
Makes sense. Makes
on
sense.
land and their role
It's not so
as
much
rulers
you
of the
could
seas. They
put
have to deal
into
with
a
things like
character like
conflicts
those.
over land with the surface world, military retaliation when Atlantis is threatened, which is pretty much the plot of Wakanda Forever thanks to the vibranium detector, and their people's never-ending distrust of those who live above them. They live in the same kingdom, have the same powers. They're both half human, half Atlantean, and they pretty much deal with the same diplomatic issues. While a lot of the people on this list just have the same power set, these two almost have the same life. Black Cat and Catwoman. If you look at Gotham and New York long enough, you'll notice they both seem to have the
Similar.
exact same burglary problem.
Oh.
Someone keeps breaking into high-security facilities, stealing very specific things, and then escaping without setting off half the alarms that were meant to stop them. In Gotham, that's Selina Kyle, and in New York, it's Felicia Hardy. Basically, two grown women that have a thing for dressing up as cats. They're more anti-heroes than
What's he
villains,
wording it like
and
this?
they both have an on and off romance with their city's superheroes. First and foremost, though, they're pro-thieves, and their skill set shows it. Both rely on agility,
That's
stealth,
crazy though.
and a set of cat-themed tools to get
like,
by.
so similar these
They have
characters
all
are.
kinds of other gadgets too, even got claws, plus grappling
Surprised no one
lines,
got
night
sued.
vision lenses, lockpicks, and anything to help pull off a big score. Catwoman is a bit more connected to Gotham's underworld, while Black Cat tends to have more team-ups with Spidey. They also have a few more differences. Felicia is a thief partly because she loves the thrill, and because her dad was one, while Selina had to become one in order to survive. But the biggest difference is that one has superpowers while the other doesn't. Black Cat
really?
has the power of luck, or probability manipulation.
Oh, right.
Originally,
I remember
Felicia
that.
gets these from scientists working under Kingpin after she makes a deal with him. These get removed by Doctor Strange later.
That's
but
kind of
then
cool.
she ends up with cybernetic enhancements, which
Whoa,
essentially give
whoa.
her the same ability. It lets her give bad luck to other people, which for a thief is almost as good as super speed or a spellbook of magic.
That is true.
Selina, on the other hand, is more of a traditional thief. Plus, I think she's a better martial artist.
Damn.
Their similarities are pretty much the same theme, costume, and a knack for flings with superheroes. Atom and Ant-Man. Despite their ability to shrink to nothing, both of them have monumental roles. The Ant-Man and Atom are both powered by technology that lets them manipulate their size. That looks like either going down to subatomic levels or becoming giants. Ray uses the Atom exosuit, while Hank Pym/Scott have the Ant-Man suit, as well as Pym particles, which facilitate their superpowers. But they both work
My God,
pretty
he-
much
he
the
did
same.
good as Adam. He
When
did
they're
good as
shrunken,
Adam.
they can punch way above their weight class while being the size of an atom
Palmer.
or an ant, and they both use this for a lot of things. While they're giant, well, they're just big. Pretty
I'm glad I
self-explanatory
betrayed
power.
Ray Palmer.
You're giant. You hit things really hard. But besides that, they're both known for infiltration,
I
sabotage,
never really got into the
disappearing
Ant-Man.
in the
I
middle
did
of
watch,
fights,
I
and
think,
having one of the most
movie?
unpredictable fighting
Like solo
styles in their
movie?
respective universes. I guess one difference is that Adam can also fly and shoot blasts, so he's got some Iron Man in him too. Their whole thing is basically not getting hit. Plus, they're both scientists who end up discovering tech that does the same thing. Well, at least Hank is a scientist. Adam's even been known to shrink to the size of a cell.
All right.
Yeah,
That's probably what they said on the Titanic.
His feats in the comics are insane. They're also not the heavy hitters on either of their teams.
Legend of Tomorrow.
Mostly, they play support roles, but they're very necessary support. They deal with all kinds of threats that others just aren't prepared or equipped to. The Atom's been a part of mainstream comics since 1940, but interestingly enough, he only got his shrinking powers in 1961, just 4 months before Ant-Man eventually debuted in 1962. The timing alone makes you think that there's no way they could have copied Atom, but you can't deny the similarities between the two.
That is true.
It's natural for both DC and Marvel to have some overlap. They've been producing comics for almost a century now, and at some point, originality starts to hit its limit. But some of these are almost identical, while some
Yeah.
just have the same powers. Who do you guys think should be on this list besides the ones we covered?
Ooh, we're done. That was a quick little for me 1-2 word. Listen, that was a video. That was my reaction. You feel me? I feel more educated. I like that. Let me give you a like. I'm not subscribed. I gotta subscribe. And my bell. And you should do that too. Not well to him too, but it was, especially for me. You know, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like. Comment down below. DC or Marvel? What's your? Who do you choose? Or both? You never know. Like, when did you first started watching DC? When did you first start watching Marvel? But hey, let me get out of here. I think I was yapping too much. All right. Appreciate y'all.